The old hospital was abandoned years ago, but it still stands on the outskirts of town. It's a sprawling complex of buildings, with long corridors and dark rooms. The only light comes from the moon and the stars, and the only sound is the wind whistling through the trees. A few people have dared to explore the hospital, but they have all come back with stories of strange and terrifying things. They have seen figures moving in the shadows, heard whispers in the night, and felt the touch of unseen hands. One night, a group of teenagers decided to explore the hospital. They were all thrill seekers, and they thought it would be fun to see if the rumors were true. They snuck onto the property and made their way into one of the buildings. The inside of the hospital was even more creepy than they had imagined. The walls were covered in peeling paint, and the floors were littered with debris. The air was thick with dust and the smell of decay. The teenagers started to explore the building, but they soon realized that they were lost. They wandered through the corridors, trying to find their way back to the entrance, but they only got more and more lost. As they wandered, they started to hear strange noises. They heard footsteps behind them, and they heard whispers in their ears. They even thought they saw a figure moving in the shadows. The teenagers were starting to get scared. They wanted to leave, but they didn't know how to get back to the entrance. They were trapped. Suddenly, they heard a loud crash. They turned around and saw a figure standing in the doorway. The figure was tall and thin, and it was wearing a white gown. The teenagers couldn't see its face, but they could see that its eyes were glowing red. The figure started to walk towards the teenagers, and they screamed and ran. They ran through the corridors, trying to escape, but the figure was always behind them. Just when it seemed like the figure was about to catch them, the teenagers reached the edge of the woods. They ran through the trees, and the figure was lost in the darkness. The teenagers thought they were safe, but they were wrong. The figure had found them. The figure emerged from the woods, and the teenagers saw that it was not a human. It was a creature with pale skin, long black hair, and glowing red eyes. The creature smiled, and the teenagers screamed. The creature lunged at them, and they were gone. The next morning, the teenagers' bodies were found in the woods. They had been torn apart, and their blood was everywhere. The police never found out what happened to the teenagers, but they believed that they were killed by a creature that haunted the old hospital. The creature is still out there, and it's waiting for its next victim.